Well, a man will soon be brought back to Nashville after he confessed to strangling his wife last year. 33-year-old Donovan Holt used to live in Nashville. He was arrested in San Antonio, Texas last week after his confession. Police say his wife, April Holt, was found unresponsive in the bathroom of their home on Cane Ridge Parkway in July of 2023.
From my mama's heart, I just knew that she didn't do this to herself.
The mom tells me even though her daughter's death was first ruled a suicide, she found through this lengthy cold case file what she needed to get her son-in-law to confess he killed her. April Holt, a young mother and wife of Donovan, was found almost lifeless in this apartment complex on Cane Ridge Parkway with a plastic bag taped tightly around her neck.
The enigmatic death of a young mother triggers a tireless pursuit of justice, revealing an intricate network of secrets and deceit. Background: April Holt, a most talented TikTok personality, captured the affections of countless admirers. She was born on December 7th, 1992, and her vivacious spirit and quick wit propelled her to prominence on Vine, laying the groundwork for her subsequent triumph on TikTok. At the height of her popularity, she had amassed an impressive following of 3.5 million individuals. April firmly established herself as a leading figure in social media, delighting audiences with her humorous sketches, remarkable dance performances, and engaging lifestyle posts. Her success was thoroughly well-deserved. April's captivating presence and creative flair ensured that her content resonated with a vast and devoted audience, but life took a devastating turn in the summer of 2023. April had built an amazing online empire as a positivity coach and mother of two, with over 200,000 devoted followers on TikTok. Her quirky and uplifting online persona revolved around her happy family life, sharing stories of resilience and manifesting great things.
I just pray and send good energy to anybody who's seeing this. I hope you have an amazing day on purpose, be intentional, and grow just a little bit. Progress over perfection.
Tragedy struck in late July 2023 when April, just 29 years young, was found unresponsive in her bathroom. She passed away days later, leaving everyone in shock. Authorities quickly labeled it a personal tragedy. However, April's mother, Jimie, has kicked off a relentless fight for justice, determined to challenge the initial narrative surrounding her daughter's untimely passing. As April's journey progressed, her entrepreneurial drive and resolve became increasingly evident. The young businesswoman from Antioch had already achieved significant milestones in her life. As an independent lash technician, April made a bold decision to leave her previous employment and set up her shop, becoming her boss. In July 2023, April marked her 29th birthday with immense gratitude. Bless her.
Happy 29th birthday to me. I am blessed to experience another year of life. I have lived through 10,585 days.
While reflecting on her most significant accomplishments, her thoughts naturally gravitated towards her family, especially her two cherished little ones, 11-year-old Serenity and 7-year-old Denzel. April was a devoted and affectionate mum who treasured every moment spent with her kiddos. She shared the highlights of her family life with her audience on TikTok, giving her followers a glimpse into the joyful, chaotic, and heartwarming aspects of her parenting journey. Tragedy struck just weeks. April's life abruptly ended, leaving her family, friends, and admirers in profound shock. April's online presence showcased a rich and intricate personality. However, April's online identity extended beyond mere positivity. She also shared deeply personal and candid posts, offering her audience a window into her vulnerabilities. One particularly poignant subject was her experience with homeschooling during her childhood, where she candidly addressed the feelings of isolation that accompanied her disconnection from society. Nevertheless, April's narrative wasn't one of hopelessness, but love. Rather, It illustrated her resilience. She navigated through those difficult years, emerging with greater strength and determination. As the exploration of April's life progressed, her story unfolded like a complex puzzle, revealing a rich tapestry of experiences, challenges, and victories. April's online presence gave us a glimpse into her marriage with Donovan Holt, a 33-year-old dedicated husband and dad. Together, they shared their enchanting origin story, a tale of friendship that blossomed into love. Their relationship kicked off as best friends, gradually transforming into a romance that culminated in marriage and parenthood.
But honestly, if we weren't friends first, it wouldn't have lasted. Like, that's been the base of the whole relationship, the foundation was that we were friends.
Their daughter Serenity was born when April was just a teenager, and later they welcomed their son, Denzel, into the world. Donovan often highlighted the importance of their friendship as the cornerstone of their relationship. For April and Donovan, their friendship was the foundation of their bond. Through moments of joy and sorrow, they faced life's challenges together. Their love story, while not without flaws, exemplified the strength of friendship and commitment. As April's life progressed, her marriage to Donovan continued to play a crucial role in her narrative. April and Donovan faced numerous challenges in their relationship. They encountered financial difficulties, episodes of depression, and significant health concerns that tested their connection, but they remained resilient and blessed. Then, disaster struck on Friday, July 28th. April's mother, Jimie, received a devastating phone call from Donovan. He informed her that April had been rushed to the hospital after being found unresponsive in the shower, with a plastic bag taped over her head. Their young son had made the grim discovery. Donovan's voice was frantic as he shared the news with Jimie. He explained that April wasn't breathing and was being taken to the hospital in an ambulance. The gravity of the situation weighed heavily on them. Their world had crumbled around them. The planned movie outing to see Barbie, which had been arranged just hours before, now felt like a distant memory. It highlighted how fragile life could be.
The phone rang, and it was Donovan, and he said he was upset, kind of like in a panic upset. He's like, we found April, she wasn't breathing, and so she's in the ambulance on the way to the hospital.
As they faced that harrowing moment, uncertainty and fear enveloped their hearts. Jimie recalled Donovan's words, her mind reeling from the shock. The sudden turn of events left them reeling, struggling to come to terms with reality. April's mother sat in the hospital, feeling properly unsettled, like something wasn't quite right. Donovan's behavior struck her as odd. He didn't seem distraught or confused, considering his wife was fighting for her life. Instead, he let Jimie make all the medical decisions for April's treatment, while he just sat there, his head in his hands, rocking back and forth. 3 agonizing days went by, and then, on July 31st, the unthinkable happened. April was pronounced dead from her injuries. The autopsy report came out in November, and it said suffocation was the cause of death. However, the Metro Nashville police concluded there was no evidence of foul play. Investigation. Jimie was gobsmacked by the investigation's conclusion. She was told April's case would be closed due to lack of evidence. She couldn't accept that. She had too many unanswered questions. With newfound determination, she walked out of the meeting room, leaving the investigators and their closed case files behind.
DA and everybody agreed to close it. I got up, marched out of that room, and I said, I'm not done. I'm going to keep investigating.
She was thinking non-stop, determined to uncover the truth about April's tragic demise, as she knew her daughter inside out and couldn't swallow the official verdict. She reflected on April's life and the events leading up to her death, and Jimie's resolve intensified. She became more determined than ever to seek justice and truth for April. Jimie's conviction intensified with each day that passed. She was convinced April had an extraordinary level of faith and resilience, traits that wouldn't have let her forsake her kids. It was clear that someone had taken April's life, and she became increasingly confident in her suspicions regarding the perpetrator. The truth started to surface. 2 weeks before her death, April had initiated divorce proceedings, a choice stemming from the couple's tumultuous history. Their marriage had been fraught with difficulties for years, including a previous separation that lasted 3 years. Despite their public displays of affection and assertions of a strong, forgiving bond, April and Donovan's reunion appeared to be a calculated decision. This choice raised doubts about their genuine intentions and the underlying dynamics of their relationship. Jimie's investigation uncovered a complicated web of emotions and actions, suggesting a potentially harmful cycle. As she continued her inquiry, Jimie identified discrepancies in Donovan's behavior and statements. His actions appeared to contradict the image of the devoted husband and father he had professed to be. The facade of April and Donovan's seemingly ideal marriage had started to crumble. Their disputes had intensified, and April was dead set on leaving him. She had shared her resolve with her mother, Jimie. A startling discovery came to light. Donovan had pawned his wedding ring just a week before April's tragic passing. This did not go unnoticed by Jimie, and her suspicions were heightened. On July 28th, the day April was found unconscious in her shower, their argument had reached boiling point. Their 7-year-old son, Denzel, had witnessed the heated exchange, but couldn't make out what was being said. Denzel's memories of that fateful day painted a haunting picture. April had started her morning serenely, enjoying a cup of coffee and journaling before sharing affectionate moments with her son. However, this peace was short-lived as the disagreement between April and Donovan erupted into a violent confrontation behind the closed bathroom door. The events of that morning left a lasting impression on Denzel, while Jimie's investigation continued to reveal troubling inconsistencies in Donovan's conduct.
July 28th, she woke up, drank her coffee, journaled as usual, enjoying her peaceful morning, hugged and kissed her 7-year-old son, Denzel, and her husband then went into the bathroom and began to argue and fight.
As Jimie pursued her inquiry, she unearthed more evidence suggesting a calculated and malevolent act rather than a mere accident. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, bringing Jimie closer to the reality of the situation. She investigated the circumstances surrounding April's tragic demise and came across a heartbreaking account from a 7-year-old grandson, Denzel. He had overheard a fierce argument between his parents, pressing his ear against the door to listen intently. Seeking refuge from the turmoil, Denzel ran to his room. Shortly after, Donovan came in to help him get dressed and gave him some food. Then he told Denzel to check on his mother.
And ran to his room. His dad shortly after came into his room and he got him dressed and he fed him. And he then had him go check on his mom. He asked him to go check on his mom.
A 911 call was made and April was rushed to the hospital. The prognosis was dire. There was no brain activity and blood flow to her brain had ceased. The family's life was turned upside down. In the hours that followed, Donovan returned to the apartment twice. Though what he was doing there remained a mystery, the family was unaware. On July 31st, 2023, April was declared dead. Jimie's grief was compounded by a burning desire for justice. Although the investigation had been closed, Jimie launched a relentless campaign to raise public awareness. She contacted local news outlets, enlisted area celebrities, and utilized social media to keep April's case in the spotlight. With each passing day, Jimie's resolve intensified. She worked tirelessly to gather allies in her quest for truth. The Nashville police and the district attorney's office started taking notice. The case, once deemed closed, was gradually reopened, with Jimie's steadfast determination driving the momentum. As the momentum built, Jimie's fight for justice reached a critical juncture. Jimie's efforts to get media attention for April's case had fallen flat. She had spent 14 months contacting every local news outlet in Nashville, but none of them had taken up the story. Not one to give up. Jimie requested the complete case file and started her own research. She filed a formal complaint with Nashville's Community Review Board, which prompted a thorough review of April's case. 4 months later, the Metro Nashville Police Department launched a second investigation. Although the resulting 47-page report did not change the case's classification or April's cause of death, it gave Jimie valuable insights. Jimie pored over the report and associated documents, scrutinizing every detail. Weeks turned into months as she dedicated herself to understanding the evidence. Meanwhile, Jimie put her grandchildren's well-being first. She ensured Serenity and Denzel received grief counseling, creating a stable and nurturing home environment. As Jimie navigated the complex landscape of evidence and bureaucracy, her determination grew stronger. Her investigation gained momentum, propelled by her steadfast commitment. The silence surrounding April's case was gradually broken, and Jimie's perseverance had sparked renewed interest in the matter. Jimie pursued her quest for justice, navigating the intricate emotional dynamics within her family. Her grandchildren, Serenity and Denzel, had been plagued by nightmares, resulting in sleepless nights for both Jimie and her husband. Through her advocacy against domestic violence, Jimie shed light on the complex dynamics inherent in abusive relationships. After April's passing, Donovan Holt moved to Texas, sparking a custody dispute over Denzel. Jimie faced the daunting prospect of separating Denzel from his sister, Serenity. The thought of Denzel leaving was unbearable for Jimie. Jimie prioritized Denzel's emotional health, ensuring he maintained a bond with Serenity. As the custody battle approached, Jimie's determination grew stronger. Although her journey was fraught with tragedy, it served as a source of hope and inspiration for change. The battle for justice and custody had only just begun, with Jimie steadfastly leading the way, fueled by her unwavering dedication to her family. As Jimie's pursuit of justice intensified, her relationship with her former son-in-law, Donovan Holt, became increasingly strained. In April 2024, Jimie stopped sharing updates on April's case, revealing she had been subjected to a gag order. Undeterred, Jimie persisted in her advocacy for April behind the scenes, and her efforts bore fruit when investigators uncovered startling new evidence. Initial claims of no trauma were contradicted by visible bruises, neck marks, thigh injuries, and a laceration on April's inner thigh. A pivotal piece of evidence surfaced. Only Donovan's fingerprints were found on the bag taped over April's head and the duct tape. In September, Jimie confronted Donovan with this evidence, leading to his confession. She recorded their conversation and presented it to the authorities. April's autopsy was reviewed, and the cause of death was reclassified as homicide. The Metro Nashville Police Department announced Donovan's arrest in San Antonio. Charges. Donovan faced charges of reckless homicide, evidence tampering, and false reporting. He was extradited to Tennessee and held on a $75,000 bond. The Nashville Cold Case Unit clarified the case's complexities. Donovan's confession unveiled a horrific act. He had strangled April in a fit of rage during an argument. Donovan had dragged April into the shower, placed the bag over her head, and secured it with tape before leaving her to prepare lunch for their son, Denzel. After Denzel finished his meal, Donovan instructed him to check on his mother and then made a call to emergency services. April's children, Serenity and Denzel, remained in Jimie's care, who prioritized their well-being amid the chaos. Jimie then advocated for Donovan's charge to be elevated from reckless homicide to first-degree murder, seeking justice for April. With a new district attorney assigned to the case, Jimie's determination remained steadfast. The path to justice had been long and arduous, but Jimie's commitment ensured April's story would not fade into silence. Conclusion. Justice had ultimately been served, albeit with lasting repercussions. Jimie's steadfast commitment ensured April's narrative remained an enduring testament, enabling her children to grow up aware of the circumstances surrounding their mother's tragic demise. Whilst the path had been arduous, Jimie drew solace from knowing April's legacy would persist, inspiring others to pursue justice unabated. The case had laid bare the more sinister aspects of human nature, concurrently highlighting the remarkable strength of the human spirit. Thanks for watching, but before you go, here are a few questions for you. Was the police investigation justified in closing April's case as a personal tragedy, or should more have been done? Should children like Denzel be involved in legal and family battles, or protected from them at all costs? Do you believe public campaigns for justice help cases like April's, or do they risk interfering with the truth? Is it ever possible to truly know the people closest to us, as in the case of April and Donovan? Do you think social media fame makes people more vulnerable in real life? Why or why not? What are your thoughts? If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like this post to show your support, subscribe to the channel, and follow our page for more exciting content. Hit the bell icon to stay notified about our latest uploads.